Hello everyone, and welcome to another Dragonfly deck review. My name's Dan, Dragonfly9078, um, and uh, you may recognize this deck. This is my shark deck. Um, I do have another video showcasing this deck, but I'm looking at it now because today is the first day, as far as I know, that the new cards from, I think, Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy are on Dueling Network. So I was planning to go through them all and put them all into my decks, and then or use whichever ones I could in my decks, and then uh, make a video showing all the changes I've made to the decks that I've shown you guys. Um, And so I started to do that, and I went through them all, and there's none that I'm actually using in any of the decks that I've already showed you. Um, the only ones are, I mean, there are several that I'm using in decks that I haven't shown, or that I'm going to use in decks that I haven't shown. I'm going to go through, maybe put some of the new Fire Fists in. Uh, Add some of the mermail support. Might make a burning knuckler deck, but that kind of thing. Oh, maybe I'll put gauntlet shooter in my hazy flame deck. I That is one that I could do, I suppose, that I didn't even think about until just now. So yeah, so it turned out that the only cards that I was actually using in a deck that I've already shown you are in the shark deck, and they are the cards that I told you about at the end of the shark deck that I said were coming out. So just uh, just looking through it, I did make a couple changes. I put in two each of Eagle Shark and Panther Shark. I put in two Shark Fortresses. Um, I took out several cards. What did I take out? I took out an XYZ Remora. I took out Hammer Shark because I don't really have any level 3 monsters except for shark stickers, which is not worth it. Um, so I'll probably just be using Bahamut Shark to get out Leviathan Dragon and Nightmare Shark. Um, so I took that out. I took out Surface for the same reason. I put in Umi Uruka. Um, oh, I took out one of my 3 wind-up sharks. So what is that? Wind-up shark, surface. Um, yeah, yeah. If I made any other changes, then I don't remember. But wind-up shark, surface, hammer shark, uh, XYZ Remora. That's 4 cards. Maybe there were only 43 beforehand. So I did take out one of the Shark Drake Vices because I never use Shark Drake Vice. Um, so that's the new Shark deck. I haven't actually used it, but I will in the near future. So let's move on to what this video is actually supposed to be about, which is a relatively recent deck of mine, the Volcanic deck. Volcanics are an archetype from the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX time frame, um, about the same time as the Crystal Beasts. Um, they are very burn focused, and they revolve around the spell cards Blaze Accelerator and Tri-Blaze Accelerator. What both of those do is use a monster from your hand, basically as ammunition, to destroy a monster your opponent controls. And then you can't attack for the rest of the turn. Or actually during that turn. So I don't think you can attack and then use Blaze Accelerator. So Blaze Accelerator requires the ammo to be a Pyro monster with 500 or less attack. Send it from your hand to the graveyard to destroy a monster your opponent controls. Tri-Blaze Accelerator can only be activated by sending a face-up Blaze Accelerator you control to the grave. Can use any Pyro monster as ammunition to destroy an opponent's monster, and also inflict 500 damage to their life points. So decent cards, and they really do work well with this archetype. So let's go through it. Royal Firestorm Guards is a level 4 Pyro, 1700 attack, 1200 defense. When it's normal summoned, select 4 Pyro monsters in your graveyard, return them to your deck, and then draw 2. It's basically Pot of Avarice, except for Pyro monsters and one less monster. All the monsters in this deck are Pyro, so I am using Solidarity. Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames, level 10 Pyro, Fire, of course, they are also all Fire. 0 attack and defense, so it does qualify for Blaze Accelerator. Can only be special summoned, and it can only be special summoned by sending 3 face-up traps you control to the graveyard. I have Kickfire, Gravity Bind, Firewall, Final Attack Orders, and Backfire. And it gains 1,000 attack for every continuous trap card in your grave, so that's a max of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7,000. And once per turn, you can destroy a face-down spell or trap your opponent controls, and they can't activate spell or trap cards in response to that. Decent card. Volcanic Blaster is a level 3 Fire Pyro, 1200 attack, 600 defense. It is the Searcher of the deck. Well, actually, it's one of 2 Searchers of the deck. When it is destroyed and sent to the graveyard by battle, you can place a Volcanic monster on top of your deck from your deck. So it is kind of a slow Searcher. It has to be destroyed by battle, and the monster doesn't go to your hand, it goes to the top of their deck. On the bright side, that does get around Thunder King Ryo, because it doesn't go to your hand, it places it on top of your deck. A common combination is use Volcanic Blaster to put Volcanic Rocket on top of your deck, because when Volcanic Rocket is normal summoned, or actually summoned at all, you can add a Blaze Accelerator or a Tri-Blaze Accelerator from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Unfortunately, that is stopped by Thunder King Ryo, but, what are you going to do? And Volcanic Rocket has 1900 attack and 1400 defense, so it is a decent monster on top of that. Volcanic Counter is a level 3 Pyro, 300 attack, 1300 defense. When you take battle damage while Counter is in the graveyard, you can banish it, and then if there is a fire monster other than Counter in your graveyard, your opponent takes the same damage that you took, except as effect damage, obviously. Pretty good. More burn. A way to punish your opponent for attacking directly, which they might be somewhat often with you sending all your monsters to the grave for your accelerators. Volcanic Doomfire is the strongest monster in the deck, other than Uriah possibly. It's a level 8, yes, Fire Pyro, 3000 attack, 1800 defense. It can only be special summoned, and it can only be special summoned by sending a face-up Tri-Blaze Accelerator you control to the graveyard. So it can be a bit of a problem. But its effect makes up for that, because during your opponent's battle phase, they have to attack Doomfire with any attack position monsters they control. And when Doomfire destroys a monster and sends it to the graveyard, you destroy all monsters your opponent controls, and they take 500 damage for every monster that was destroyed by that effect. So a good combo with it is Ojamatrio to give them 3 0 attack power monsters, um, and final attack orders, so they'll be in attack mode. So they have to attack Volcanic Doomfire with all 3, and when each one is destroyed, they'll take 3,300 damage thanks to uh, Doomfire's attack power and Ojama Trio. When an Ojama token is destroyed, your opponent or the controller of it takes 300 damage. So that's 9,900 damage, and his second effect doesn't kick in because they don't go to the graveyard. So they do have to attack with all 3 of them. His second effect being if the monster is destroyed and goes to the graveyard, blow up your opponent's field. Monster zones, I guess. Doesn't kill their spell traps. Volcanic Hammer is a level 5 Fire Pyro, 2,400 attack, 1,500 defense. Once per turn, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to the number of volcanic monsters in your graveyard times 200, but then Volcanic Hammer cannot attack. Goes well with the Blaze Accelerators that stop you from attacking anyway. And you can rack up quite a bit of damage with that, because let's see, how many volcanic monsters are in here? 18. There are 18, all monsters except for these 2, and the XYZs are volcanic. So I guess you couldn't get 18. You could get 17. So you could get 3,400 damage off of Volcanic Hammer's effect, because you have to have one on the field to activate. So definitely good, and if you do choose to attack, it's got 2,400 attack power. Volcanic Queen is very similar to Lava Golem, which I'm sure you know about. Can only be special summoned by tributing a monster your opponent controls, but it is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field. It is a level 6 Pyro with 2,500 attack and 1,200 defense. If you special summon it, you can't normal summon or set this turn, and once per turn, the controller of Volcanic Queen can send another card they control to the graveyard to inflict 1,000 damage to their opponent. This does mean that your opponent can burn you, but if you can revive Volcanic Queen somehow, I'm not sure how you would do that. I don't think you can in this deck. Or if you can get it back somehow, maybe somebody uses Owner's Seal or something, then you can use it. Unfortunately, the controller also has to either tribute a monster or take 1,000 damage during each of their end phases. So, more burn, and it goes well with Gravity Bind, just like Lava Golem does. Stops them from attacking, and they either tribute monsters or take damage. Volcanic Scattershot and Volcanic Shell, I think, are the ones most associated with the Blaze Accelerators. Volcanic Shell is the basic one. It's a level 1 Fire Pyro, 100 attack, 0 defense. Once per turn, you can pay 500 life points to add a Volcanic Shell from your deck to your hand, as long as you have a Volcanic Shell in your graveyard. So, thins the deck, and it basically reloads. So you fire one off with Blaze Accelerator, and then pay 500 life points and get one back, or get another one. So if you draw one of these and you have a Blaze Accelerator or a Tri-Blaze Accelerator, it's essentially 3 shots on 3 different turns. Volcanic Scattershot is the other one. It's a level 2 Fire Pyro, 500 attack, 0 defense. So it does qualify for Blaze Accelerator as well as Tri-Blaze. When it's sent to the graveyard, in any way, that's Blaze Accelerator, Tri-Blaze Accelerator, Battle, your opponent's card effect, anything discarded, even discarded for a cost, as long as it goes from somewhere to the graveyard, detached from something. I don't have any level 2 things, but Anyway, the point is, when it's sent to the graveyard, your opponent takes 500 damage. That's not bad, but it gets really good because if it is sent to the graveyard by the effect or for the effect of a Blaze or Tri-Blaze Accelerator, then you can send 2 other ones from your deck to the graveyard, or your hand, sorry, from your hand or your deck to the graveyard to destroy all monsters your opponent controls. So that's a very good effect, because first of all, your opponent's taking 1500 damage because he just sent 3 of these to the graveyard. Secondly, you destroy all monsters your opponent controls, not just the one that Blaze Accelerator or Tri-Blaze would get you. And 3, this can get around things that give spell immunity. Like, I was using this deck against a Prophecy deck, and they use Spellbook of Wisdom, the quick play that grants immunity for 1 turn to either spell or traps for one of your spellcaster monsters. So they chose traps, or they chose spells because I had Blaze Accelerator. But I was not targeting the spellcaster, I was targeting Volcanic Queen. So it destroyed Volcanic Queen, and Scattershot destroyed his Priestess. Because that's all Prophecy players ever play is Priestess. So it can get around things that grant immunity to spell effects because it is a monster effect. Speaking of monsters, the last monster we have is Volcanic Slicer. It's a level 4 Fire Pyro, 1800 attack, 1200 defense. Similar to Hammer, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent, but if you do, then Slicer can't attack. Again, goes well with the Blaze Accelerators. So the monsters are pretty decent. I explained Blaze Accelerator and Tri-Blaze Accelerator, but one thing I did not mention is that they are not restricted to once per turn. They are as many times as you want or can per turn. Yeah. So definitely decent cards. It's a fun deck to play. It does get a bit repetitive, just Blaster, Rocket, Accelerator, Bam, 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 that kind of thing. But it can be fun. Dark Room of Nightmare increases any effect damage by 300, except for Dark Room of Nightmare's effect. Burn deck, might as well. Molten Destruction, all fire monsters gain 500 attack, lose 400 defense. It's a field card, pretty straightforward. MST, Solidarity, I went through Tri-Blaze Accelerator. Wildfire is a quick play spell card. Pay 500 life points, destroy a face-up Tri-Blaze or Blaze that you control, and then destroy all monsters on the field. Then special summon a Wildfire token, which is a Pyro Fire level 3, 1000 attack and defense, in attack position to your side of the field, but you can't attack this turn. It's of course, best used during your opponent's turn, because then you can attack next turn, and if you have Solidarity, it's at 1800. So, decent. I don't use it that much, but it can help. Backfire. Your opponent takes 500 damage whenever a fire monster you control is destroyed. Dark Bribe, final attack orders. All monsters on the field are changed to attack position and can't change their battle position. Again, goes with Doomfire and Geometria. Firewall. When your opponent declares a direct attack, you can negate that monster's attack by removing from play 1 Pyro monster in your graveyard. Pay 500 life points during your standby phases. If you don't, then destroy Firewall. Again, more protection for your life points, since you're going to be, I was gonna say since you're gonna be open because you're sending all your monsters to the graveyard, but in my experience, that doesn't actually happen that often. So, and you're banishing monsters that you could use for Hammer, or you're banishing Counter. So I'm actually gonna put that on my side deck. Gravity Bind, you know. Kick Fire. When a face-up fire monster you control is destroyed by a card effect, place a counter on this card for each destroyed fire monster. Goes well with Wildfire if you have a field full of monsters. Then during either player's standby phase, you can send Kickfire to the grave to inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent for each counter on Kickfire. Pretty good. Yeah, it discourages the use of card effects, I suppose, which allows for Volcanic Blaster, allows for Counter, allows for Doomfire. Yeah. Ojama Trio, I went through. Spiritual Fire Art Kurenai, straightforward burn card. Tribute a fire monster. Your opponent takes damage equal to the original attack of that monster. So, like I said, it's a sorry, it's a pretty straightforward burn deck. Not overly complicated. The cards in the side deck are just other pyro burny cards. Yeah, pyro support, burn support. I do have Blaze Phoenix, the Burning Bombardment Bird, which is a decent card. I can use it with Super Polymerization, but I would probably only side those in if I was playing a machine deck, because I do have Wind Up Zen Mines, but I just don't get that out often enough to super poly into it. So if I ever play a machine deck, then I will probably side in Blaze Phoenix and super poly, but other than that, because it is a good burn card. Your opponent takes 300 damage for every card on the field, but Blaze Phoenix can't attack that turn. It's almost like it was designed to work with volcanic cards and Blaze Accelerator, which heck, for all I know, it was. But it could be why its name is Blaze. But until I play that kind of deck, I'm not going to use it. Um, all the ones in here are just fire XYZ. That was my big criteria. Lavalval Chain can act as another Volcanic Blaster. Infernal Flame Vixen is a new XYZ that I haven't gotten to use because I haven't really used a Pyro deck since it came out. Grenosaurus, more burn. So yeah, I mean, again, it's just a straightforward burn deck. Not really that remarkable, but it can be fun to play. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go through these new cards because there are some cool looking ones in there. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna put the strongest shield, into probably into my total defense deck, the one with the total defense Shogun and that kind of thing. Maybe I'll put it into maybe I'll put that into my Noble Knight deck. Yeah, I'm probably gonna put the strongest shield into my Noble Knight deck. I had not considered that, but it would actually be good. Another equip card for Evocator Chevalier, another a way to actually let Gawain survive a turn if you summon it in defense mode. So yeah, I'll probably put that in there. There's some other ones that I'm gonna go through, but so yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you. There are some other shark cards that I would have put in. Big Whale is not really a shark, but it is a fish, 1000 attack, 3000 defense, level 9, water. When it's tribute summoned, you can tribute it to grab 3 level 3 water monsters from your deck, but their effects are negated. Again, no level 3s. Same with Shark. Shark Kraken, actually, did I put in? I might have. So, so those are all I got. That's really all I have for you. I don't know why I didn't put Shark Kraken in, but I guess because eh, I don't know. Maybe because I don't have any good like rank sixes, or I didn't want to give up my monsters. I don't know. So I'm sorry I keep like doubling back on myself, but that's all I have for you. Uh, Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.